hectic.
Hi, my name is Miriam Mimi Kupunza. I'm 15 years old. I'm from Hoedspruit, the local community, and today we're gathered here for Wild Shots outreach program. It's about wildlife and people interested in photography, mostly young children. So let's go inside and see what we do during our workshop.
And you see these pictures, yeah? Are any of them Big Five? Wild Shots Outreach aims to engage young people from previously disadvantaged communities in wildlife and conservation through photography.
My favorite thing about Wild Shot is that it teaches us more about the photography industry and how the photos tell a story to us.
I run a series of wildlife photography workshops with children in government schools, and we go on game drives and we put those new skills into practice. Which one's Big Five?
There's a lion and there's a leopard. My favorite thing about Wild Shots Outreach program is that you get many opportunities. You learn new things about photography, and you always get an opportunity to go out on a game drive, which is really interesting because you get to see all different kinds of animals.
But the other pictures are interesting too, yeah? So it doesn't just have to be Big Five animals that we take pictures of. The idea is to try and engage the young people who are living on the borders of the Kruger Park and the private reserves next to the park in wildlife and conservation, because for many of these children it's the first time they've ever been exposed to wildlife and wild places, and it's the first time they've been on a game drive. So what about the picture of the vultures here? A vulture's important. Why are these vultures important?
They eat the remains. They clean the dead animals.
What would happen if the vultures disappeared? Because their numbers have dropped from 100% to 10%. It's important for these young people living on the borders of these national parks to get interested in conservation and to understand about wildlife and their natural heritage, because we're at a tipping point. You know, we've got problems with the conservation of rhinos, conservation of elephant, conservation of lions now, leopards now, I understand, are under threat as well. And we have to share the awareness of these riches and the value of these animals in terms of their beauty and their tourism income with the people who are living on the borders of the reserves of the parks.
My favorite thing about the Wild Shots Outreach program, it's like a head start for the children who wants to be photographers when they are older, and it also teaches us new things.
Okay, so my friends, what setting on the command dial are we going to use if we're going to do freezing the action? Rifumo.
We use TV.
We're going to use TV. We are not going to use the baby settings over here, the automatic settings, yeah? Because then the camera's in control, and we want to be in control of the camera. So we're going to use the creative settings. We're going to use TV.
We get to learn a lot of new things about photography that we didn't know.
Okay, my friends, off you go. I was shocked and appalled when I moved into the Hoedspruit area to find that the children in the government schools had never seen elephants, never seen lions, never seen rhinos. And I wanted to put that right.
Today's class was actually fantastic because I enjoyed it and I love jumping around, so it was actually quite fun.
Today's program was amazing. It was fun. I enjoyed each and every lesson of it, especially when we got to go outside and to take different kinds of pictures of freezing the picture and all that. I'd say it was really amazing.
Look at these images of the water, just very simple, the water coming from the tap. So she's frozen the action. She's frozen the water coming out of the tap. So the thing I love the most about working with the kids is I find them really inspiring. They're so enthusiastic. They become very passionate about their photos. They become very passionate about their wildlife and their wild places.
So that's it for our workshop today. After this, we are going to talk to a photojournalist that used to be part of the Wild Shot Outreach program.
Hectic. Hectic.
Hi everyone, my name is Rapitsi and I'm 26 years old. I work for a local newspaper in Hoedspruit, Kruger newspaper. And yeah, let me show you around. So guys, this is the Kruger newspaper office, and those are my co-workers, Wisani and Rufumo from Wild Shot Outreach. This is actually where the magic happens. I'm a photojournalist. It all comes from my passion because I've always loved media and journalism studies.
I first met Lucky when he was working as a waiter in a bar, and I kind of kept in touch with him, and I knew that he was working at the local paper, and I knew that he was interested in photography.
My journey with Wild Shots, it actually made me gain a lot of experience because I didn't know more of like nature and like conservations and everything. And I was never in the Kruger National Park, and I didn't even know the importance of like the animals that we have in South Africa.
So I taught him, and then I started taking him to some of the shoots I was doing for different NGOs, and he started taking really good images.
So what a newspaper does is that we keep the community informed with whatever that is happening. With Kruger Canyon, what we mainly focus on is actually like informing the public and also educating them in a way.
No, like he's a good guy. He mentored us in journalism. I didn't know anything about journalism, but like he's the one who introduced me in journalism. Now I know a lot. He taught me about the styles that they use, the tricks that they use in journalism. I think like he's a good guy and he's a good mentor too.
Rifumo and Wisani were on a Wild Shots outreach course with me down at Frank Makinyani High School in Ludlow. But again, those children had never been on a game drive, so I had the privilege of taking Rifumo and Wisani on their first game drive with that group.
I've been dreaming of doing photojournalism. Meeting with Mike and Lucky, it's where I learned more about photojournalism, especially with Lucky, because like it gave me more information about photojournalism.
Rifumo and Wisani stayed in contact with me through social media and asked me about developing as photojournalists. And as Lucky's skills developed, I realised that there was an opportunity to pair them up. And I asked Lucky if he would mind mentoring the two of them and do a bit of work experience.
My best story, it's the one that I did. I wrote a story of rhino dehorning. That was my best story because, you know, I can say maybe it was the first time me seeing a rhino and also being able to capture the moment of the operation of the dehorning. And the worst story is the heat or no heat. I didn't have any story. So I managed to, you know, just go out, follow the K2C Biosphere Reserve, and I had to walk to Zandspruit just to come and just to see if maybe they might be, you know, doing something. And I had to walk there, and it was very hot, only to find that they were doing some data collating of environmental issues. And it's deadline, I have to send a story. You know, I have to make sure that everything must happen within an hour so that I can get back to the office and just type the work. It was a worse story because even the writing wasn't good, you know, but I had to make sure that I produced by the end of the day.
I think we need more organizations like the Wild Shots because it's helpful and it's so very important because if I can tell someone a story without a proof of a picture, they won't believe it. But if I can take a picture and then tell them a story, they will believe it. Why? Because I have a proof of what I'm talking about.
We come from wild. Back there, we are living in wild, in bushes. So it's very important because we are losing the passion or we are losing the love of the wild. It's a good thing for young people because it will keep them from bad things, from bad hobbies.
My editor always tells me, she always tells me, like she'll be like, Lucky, you don't have stories this week. I'll be like, yeah, I have 2, but I always want you to bring 5. And I'm like, yeah, at the moment I have 2. Then she'll be like, you only sleep when you're dead. So you have to make sure that you go out there and grab what you have to grab. So to the viewers, the advice that I'd give to, you know, the viewers that wish to become journalists is that, you know, have passion for it. Don't look out for money because actually in media as a whole, you know, you have to market yourself, you know, so don't think of money and think that you're gonna get paid like doctors and everything. So it must be all about your passion. If you're passionate about writing or maybe taking photos, that's where it starts. Then the other thing, they'll follow. That's it from our side, guys. Stay tuned for an awesome adventure coming up next.
Hectic. Hectic.
Welcome back, guys. Let's go take some photos.
We learned quite a lot. It's like he taught us to love nature, to love animals, and then like I just think it's better taking pictures of the wildlife than taking of ordinary human beings, because like the wild, it's just beautiful. It's amazing.
Okay, my friends, just over on our left here, we've got a little group of impala and at least one baby. Now, the mother impala times the birth of the baby to coincide with the rains, and the rains bring up the first green grass of the wet season.
We need to protect animals because the living organisms is important for the environment.
My favorite picture is a picture that I took at Wildlife College of a rhino.
It's when we were taking the first game drive from Wild Shot Outreach, where I took an elephant because it was eating. That's my favorite picture. Even today, I still have it.
My favorite picture that I've taken was a picture of a bird that was on top of a tree.
My favorite picture is of a rhino with no horns.
Photography, it's not all about taking random pictures, but you have to apply some innovative skills while you're taking your pics. And what I've learned from Mike is that when you have a passion, you have to pass it to other people. You have to give other people a chance to have an opportunity that you had.
My advice would be to young children who want to be photographers that, like, if you want something, go get it. Like, photography is a nice career to follow, so I'd advise you guys to take photography. It's very, very nice.
I would say go out there, go follow your dream, be a photographer. It's interesting, it's amazing, especially if you're taking off the wild and the nature. You'll enjoy it, you won't regret it. Go out there and be a photographer.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing our story. Photography is an amazing way of telling stories, and conservation is one of the most important stories at the moment. So thanks so much for being part of this story. Wild Shots Outreach Hectic 99.